So on this back side, it's the same thing. You want to write an equation, and again, they're telling you to write it in slope-intercept form, not point-slope form. But if they happen to give you a point and a slope, it's better to write it in point-slope form and then modify it to change the look of it to become slope-intercept. So, pick a question on this back side. 12? Sure, why not? Let's look at number 12. What do they give us? Slope and a point. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go with point-slope form. And there's my point-slope form. Let me rewrite this with the blank spots. So you have, what is your y1 value? -3. And what's my m value? 3. What's my x1 value?
1.
There we go. It's that easy, guys. This is your point-slope form equation. If they tell you just write an equation, that would be it. But they tell you to write it in slope-intercept form. So we need to get rid of the parentheses, and we need to get y by itself. Of course, the minus minus changes to plus plus. But let's distribute the 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. Bring down the equal sign. Bring down the y plus 3. And your final step would be to get y by itself, subtracting 3 and subtracting 3. So you'd have a final answer, y equals 3x minus 6. Bless you. What would you guys like to see? 1919. Bless you. 1919. Okay, so what's the only thing that we know how to do with 2 points? The
formula.
The formula. Let's find slope first using the slope formula. So the slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And of course, we're going to get those x and y values from these coordinates. Okay, so let's find the slope. Because whether you want to write it in slope-intercept or point-slope, you're going to need the m value, you're going to need the slope. So I highly recommend, like I always say, to start the formula with the division and the subtractions, and then plug in your y2 value, which is 5, your y1 value, which is 0, your x2 value, which is 0, and your x1 value, which is 2.5. Yay? So when you do the math, you're going to get m equals 5 divided by 2.5. Now that sounds weird, right? Actually, it's a negative 2.5. But nevertheless, it sounds weird, but what's $5 divided by 250? It's actually 2, right? If you do it on a calculator, 5 divided by 2.5, it'll be 2. That'll be your answer. So your slope is really going to be, oh yeah, what else? What's a positive divided by a negative? Negative. So your m value is really -2. Sas. You need that. You have the m value now. Okay, so you have an m value. Do they tell you that it passes through the y-intercept of a certain coordinate?
No.
No? Okay, what do they give you?
A point.
They give you 2 points. So some of us are thinking, all right, they give us points, they give us a slope, I'm going to use point-slope form. But guys, don't just jump right into it. Think about what they're really giving you. Now, yeah, they give you 2 points, but if you think about what a y-intercept is, or think about where these coordinates actually are, this guy right here is actually the b value. It's the y-intercept value. Why? Because if you go 0 on x, think about that. Let me draw a quick xy table. If you go, or xy graph, if you go 0 on x and you go up to 5, then guess what? That's your y-intercept. That's your b value. So if you started doing point-slope form, which is totally fine, it's just going to be doing a lot more work than what you're supposed to. If you recognize that you have your slope and technically they're giving you the y-intercept, then you know your m and you know your b. Your b is 5. So your answer will be y equals -2x plus 5. That's your answer. Now, I don't know. Maybe you're bored on a Saturday night You want to do something fun? Then yeah, go ahead, use point slope form, plug it all in, get y by itself, and you'll get the same answer. Good point that a student just brought up. Brandon? Thank you, Brandon. The point is that because if this were something else, like if it were 2, 5, or if this were like 3, 5 or something, but because there's a 0 there, we know that it's a y-intercept value, so we're able to see that b is equal to 5. But if it were something else, like 2, 5, negative 3, 5, or something different, then you'd actually have to use point slope form because they're not giving you a y-intercept. They would be giving you a point, and you found the slope, so you'd have to go with point slope form. Number 20 to finish it up here. What do they give us? They give us a point. And they also give us a slope indirectly. Indirectly, they give us a slope. So obviously, the point is right here. The x value 3, the y value negative 1. And the slope that they give us is actually perpendicular to this slope that you see here. So what would the perpendicular slope of negative 1/3 actually be? 3. So let's write that down on the side. M, we know that our M is 3. Now some people say, well, what about the minus 4? Who cares? This is just an equation, and the only thing that we care about is the slope, because we take that slope, we change the sign, we flip it, and it gives us our slope. I don't need this anymore. I could put a line through it if I want. I don't care. Because I already have the information that I want. My slope is 3. How about the point? Well, we know that it's x1, which is 3, y1, which is negative 1. And let's use a point slope form. Use different colors there, but let's just jump right into it. Y minus, what is y1? Negative 1. I'm switching the colors so you guys can see it. Equals, what's the slope?
3.
3, okay. And then let's go parenthesis, x minus 3. So ladies and gentlemen, we have the equation. Now all we have to do is change it to slope-intercept form. Because that's what it asks for, right? On the top of the page? Yeah, slope-intercept form. So let's change it to a plus plus. And let's get rid of the parentheses by distributing the 3. So we really have on the left side y plus 1 equals 3x, if you distribute the 3, minus 9. And the final step to get in slope-intercept form would be to subtract 1 and subtract 1. So you would have y equals 3x minus 8. 10. Sorry. I was just checking if you were paying attention. Yeah. Minus 10. So, that's how you do. I'm done. You're not. You need to finish the rest of this worksheet. So